Maybe. Let's hope. Well, we're going to proceed. I don't know what the problem is. It says it's streaming, but it doesn't appear to be. Okay, well, it does appear to be going. So we'll just do it. It's just not showing it to me. And the main concern I have is it's not muted like it needs to be. Oh, well, let's just go see what happens. We did our best. Great. Good morning. I'm Judge Person. How is everybody? I hope everybody's well this morning. Just know that we're going to mute. If we all talk at once, it doesn't work well. Having a little trouble with the live stream this morning. It says it's streaming, but it will not show it to me. So anyone out there watching, I don't know what you're actually witnessing, but hopefully you're witnessing court. I do want to welcome everybody to the Temple Municipal Court and thank everyone for their time. Just a couple of preliminary matters. Mr. Wilson, I'm going to ask you to unmute just briefly. You were here, I believe, on the Sean Ryan case, and that deferral was, I believe, accepted by both parties, and I signed that this morning. I think you're just checking in to make sure everything's good to go. Is there anything else to check in with about?
No, Your Honor. I wanted to be sure that the court had that before I didn't show up. So
yeah, I appreciate that very much. It's good to go. We'll be emailing that to you shortly this morning. Thank you for your time, and you're good to exit.
thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed day. And just moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and start. We have two dockets happening at the same time this morning. And one is the pretrial docket. It's a breakout room with the prosecutor where folks have pleaded not guilty and are contesting the charge. And I'm going to go ahead and I believe Mr. Lemaire, I'm going to say it incorrectly, Lemarier, is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Close enough. I believe you're here on the De La Paz case, is that right?
Here, yes, ma'am, the one for Technicoch.
Okay, yes, I'm going to move that case into the pretrial breakout room, and that means that Mr. Matson, Ryan Matson, is our prosecutor, and I'm going to send y'all to that room. We'll let y'all come back in when y'all have concluded. So I just am going to give some brief announcements. Those who are here for the uncontested docket, I want to let you know a handful of things. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, the law says that that's an accusation. And when you give your answer, you're giving a plea, that is your answer. And there are three options for pleading: not guilty, guilty, and no contest. Not guilty means you are contesting the charge, asking to move the case to a trial setting. We have a pretrial and then a final pretrial where we do various things along the way, okay? And that's a mandate that I have at the court due to how we handle the live docket. And so we do a pretrial on this docket like we're doing this morning. And I do have folks logged in. I believe, let's see, let me just confirm this. Maggie Jesse.
Yes.
I believe you're Ms. Gurr. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah. You'll be next. I'm moving you into that meeting here shortly. But I'm going to let you stay in the main meeting just briefly while we get to your case.
Thank you.
And the information I have is really helpful. So what I'll be doing is talking with folks on my docket as well as on that pretrial docket. We'll be just kind of juggling. I did attune to as people logged in, who logged in when. So there's a bit of a line that I try to be fair about. The other thing I want to let you know is the other two options for pleading. Again, not guilty, we're moving through a contested process, heading toward trial. Because ultimately, if you disagree, we're moving that case in that direction because there is not agreement. Mr. Clayman, just quickly, are you driving? Are you just kind of
I
moving?
couldn't hear you.
Are you driving?
No, ma'am, I'm parked.
Okay. I just sometimes people don't realize we need to not be driving, but it's good. You were just moving around a lot and it looked like you were looking to make turns. And I just wanted to confirm I can't have people drive on screen. But thank you for tending to me with the answer. So guilty is I did this. Not guilty is I'm contesting this. No contest is literally I'm not contesting it. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I just want to move in with sentencing, move forward, and allow the judge to sentence. So then, with regard to sentencing, what the law says is that on a plea of guilty or no contest, I can accept that plea and issue a sentence in a Class C court. That means payment of fines and costs. I do look at people's ability to pay when I do that sentencing option if they filled out their paperwork that allows me to look at that. And I have the right to ask for it in order to be fair. The other thing is normally you pay it, it goes on your record, and that's the end of it. There are still 4 ways to gain a dismissal that I have available from the bench on a plea of guilty or no contest. Let me tell you how those work. First, I'll tell you what they are, then I'll tell you how they work. They are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. I'll walk you through those. You're welcome to ask about it. I will not wait for you to ask about it. I will walk through and see if we can get you to those dismissals. Feel free to request or ask about it when it's your turn to talk, because if you have questions, I don't want those to go unanswered if I can answer them. I can't give legal advice, but I can talk to you about how the law works and let you know your options, okay? The second dismissal is the driving safety course option. That's for moving violations, whereas the first one, which has to do with compliance, are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed where the law recognizes that. The driving safety course option is something that can be done for a moving violation. You do save money because you pay only the court costs. The fine goes on hold. You get your course in, you get your driving record in, you get your case dismissed, you get your fine waived, okay? Because all tickets have a court cost set by the Texas legislature and a fine set by the judge. The court costs have to get paid because the legislature doesn't let me control that and waive those. The fine I have control over and I waive if you do the program the way it's intended to work. There are deadlines and you have to qualify to be in that program. So I will see if you're qualified to be in the program. If you then want to do that, you can do that. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You're welcome to pay the citation, okay? The third option is a deferred disposition. That is like a preliminary period of time where you are on what looks like probation. It's not technically probation because you don't have a probation officer with fees, but we do schedule payment on the citation. We figure out that is, again, subject to each person. I look at also whether I'm going to require classes, a certificate of some sort, some kind of service, as well as sorting out the payment of fines and costs. And then if you want to do that deferral, you can do that deferral. The way that you get a deferral in a Class C court is you ask at the time of your plea. You can ask the judge directly on a plea of guilty or no contest. You can ask the prosecutor if you are plea bargaining with that prosecutor. So there are 2 avenues at the Class C level. And the fourth option is, and again, that just looks like guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred judge when you're asking the judge. On the fourth option, it's teen court. I don't see any high school students. If you are one, I'll talk to you about it when it's your turn. So those are the 4 ways to gain a dismissal. from a Class C court on a plea of guilty or no contest. If you're pleading not guilty, just please remember we're moving toward trial, okay? Unless that changes at some point. But that's the assumption. There are assumptions we need to make. So Mr. Matson and Attorney Lamarniere, I'll just do that wrong every time, I apologize.
That's
On the Della Paz case, Mr. Matson, and where are we with regard to these two matters? There's a speeding charge, there's an insurance charge, and I guess y'all have had an opportunity to visit.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to be dismissing the insurance charge. I was provided with a valid insurance card that was already in place at the time of the stop.
Okay,
And the speeding offense, I've made an offer to Mr. Lemerrier, but he wants to speak with you.
okay,
Your Honor, he did make an offer on it. What I'd ask is to see if we can get deferred. He's 1 mile over Mr. Matson's limit. And I'd like to see if I can possibly still get a deferred for that client.
I don't have a plea of guilty or no contest, but I would consider it if I do.
Okay, my plea would be no contest on that if you would consider that.
Yes, I would grant it. I would require a driving safety course as a requirement.
That would be fine, Your Honor.
And I would, and that would need to be due within 60 days.
Okay.
And I would also ask, I don't have any financial information on the client. Can your client, if your client, sorry, this is a plea of no contest. If your client, without a payment application, I would say payment would be due within 30 days.
That would be fine, Your Honor. And how long would the deferral be?
120 days.
Okay, that is
Let's see.
acceptable.
The payment by 7/19, class by 8/16, end of deferral by October 11th.
I'm sorry, what was the end of the deferral, Your Honor?
October 11th.
Okay,
Okay, we will email that over.
okay.
Signature. I'm sorry, and we will email that over. I am assuming, Mr. Matson, the insurance that is in the file, is it a compliance dismissal? In other words, coverage on the date of the stop?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court can do that and you're not required to send it. Let me just look and make sure I have it. And it covers the Okay, we can do that. It's a compliance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So,
Thank you.
Mr. Matson, you're not required to send that to me. Save you a step. Okay, and so, Mr. Lemerrier, say it for me.
That's exactly right, Your Honor. You got that right.
We will email those documents to you. I would like to get that deferral signature back from you today.
That's fine. Would you like my personal email to make sure you have that
Yes,
whenever you're ready?
we're ready.
As the letter J, and then LEMARIER,
Okay,
and then at TKACH-LAW.com. And that would go straight to me, so I'd be able to sign that right away for you.
okay, very good. I just signed it, so we should be wrapped up pretty shortly.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
You may.
Thank you.
Mr. Matson, moving you forward, moving you forward, you have waiting Miss Magdalena Gurr, and she's defined as Maggie Jesse on the screen. And Miss Gurr, you'll want to get on screen if possible, moving into that meeting. There she went. Okay, and then I am moving forward actually with Jose Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, can you unmute to talk to me this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good, ma'am. And you?
I'm well. I read everything that you gave the court this morning. I did look at everything. These are cases, let's see, they're dating back, some of them, well, most of them, to 2008. into 2010. I just have a couple of questions. And always with my questions, I'm not assuming anything about anyone. I'm looking to make things, looking for easier routes to point B. Okay. So one question I always ask people when cases are this old is if you have any arrests since the times of these stops.
No,
Okay.
I've
All right.
never been
The law
arrested.
requires that I consider that. So I just want to not skip that step. The next step I want to ask you about is you have, what I got from you is a request to pay in installments. And then I got a 30-day request to pay in full, which I think wouldn't be realistic. I can approve a payment plan, okay? And the warrants get recalled upon a signature on an approved by the judge payment plan. So I don't have any problem doing $50 a month, which was your request. The thing is, though, I do have a hold on your driver's license, and I don't release that until the amounts are paid in full. So are you able to put anything towards this balance today that will make this go a little faster for yourself?
I can get the money to pay them off by the end of the week. Pay everything off by the end of the week.
Okay, all right. If you sign that, I can give you a window, it's a kind of a thing I usually do. I can give you 30 days. I can recall the warrant. I can accept the pleas. We move forward with it. And then when you pay it, I let go of the hold on the license because I can zero out the balance, which means I don't have to haunt anybody anymore, right? And then what happens is it takes about a month with DPS. I want to let you know, though, you might wind up needing an occupational license at some point because these convictions, if your license is expired, and it may be just due to the time, I'm considering that it's possible. If your license is expired, sometimes that will trigger a suspension. And sometimes it will trigger other requirements that they have for you regarding the insurance that you carry on file with the state. So what I want to also do, besides get your signature today on this agreement to pay, is give you information for how to obtain that occupational, because I call it a bridge license, okay? Sometimes you get a disruption with your lawful license, and if you keep driving and getting convictions, it will make it just get bigger and bigger. If you can get a bridge to get you over it, either by not driving, which is sometimes not realistic, probably for most of us, or you can do an occupational that will get you over that hump and just get back to a lawful license. So I have an information packet, right? I'm just getting it to put with your things. Can we get you your signature this morning here at the court?
Yes, I can go to the court today.
Okay, just the court is a safe harbor, so you're not going to be arrested for coming into this. And that I can tell you. And then you sign, we have that agreement. I recall the warrant. I hand you your packet. And when you come in and pay, we then send the release to DPS. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Does that all make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Then I will accept your pleas. I will order that you pay within 30 days and that you come in and sign today and pick up your packet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just.
I can pay them online, correct?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, let me stamp that. So yeah, with your signature today, I'll recall your warrants, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you at the window this morning.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a little bit.
Okay, take your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And I am moving with Mr. Clayman. And let me just, I had someone come into the meeting, and Mr. Wolf, just letting you know, see you there. And you're actually next. Mr. Mattson is in with someone, and you'll be able to meet with him shortly. Mr. Clayman, just quickly, I did review the information that you were kind enough to send into the court. I am sorry for your loss, truly. I want to pause on your case and just kind of tell you options, okay? Because kind of what I got from you was kind of a hybrid, okay? I got a plea of no contest, and then I got a request to dismiss, which as the judge, I'm not able to, I see the concerns that you have about it, okay? But I'm not able to address those in the form of a dismissal. You know, I could look at a driver safety course option with you if you're eligible. I could, and it looks like you might be, I could look at a deferral with you if that was your request. The other option, curtain number 3, if you will, would be to pause on your case, allow you to shift to a not guilty plea, and allow you to talk to the prosecutor who has the authority to make a recommendation for dismissal upon review of the case, okay? If he decides to do that. If you want to see if he will do that, we can schedule that to happen. If you want to move forward with me on a plea of no contest, that's sentencing, because I don't have authority just to throw cases out without the legal process that's required. So do you understand what I'm telling you this morning?
I do understand.
Do you want to pause and have that review with the prosecutor, or do you want to move forward with some possible sentencing options?
I do want to pause.
Pause. Okay. I can schedule you for an online meeting like this one with him on June 28th. That's the next available. Can we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is a reset. And I see you're in Florence. I actually have to know where that is. I've driven through Florence a few times. And I do want to see if we could just email that to you and have you sign it and email it back to us.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's a pretrial on the 28th. And we'll email that to you this morning, that setting. And then we'll be good to, once we get it back from you, we'll be good to go. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clayman. The information that you made available to me will be available to that prosecutor to review as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then look for that in your email. If you don't receive it in the next hour, call and check on it because we will have emailed it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll see you June 28th.
Okay.
Bye-bye. I'm sorry. Let me make one more note. Let me change this plea before I accept it. Okay, there we go. And then moving along, let's see. Christopher Williams is not here. I just want to double check. Miss Johnson, Mr. Wolf, we'll be getting to you both shortly. Okay. I'm going to call Christopher Williams. There's some phone number I'm not sure he is tracking. The problem is I'm not clear that I can read the phone number. Could you give it to me? Yes. That's what I got to. Okay, I'll try it.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Williams.
Hi.
Hi, Christopher Williams.
Yes, ma'am. This is I.
Okay, hi. This is Judge Person with the Temple Municipal Court. How are you this
Oh
morning?
my God. Did I miss the appointment?
You did, but I called because I was a little bit, we're good. We're on the phone and we can do that because I'm on the screen too. So,
I
hey,
feel so awful. I just woke up not long ago. And I don't know what it is. I just lose track. I have a lot of tickets. I've paid off with a lot of them actually. So my financials are very freed up a lot where I can start making payments on your ticket.
okay, here's my question. I do see that maybe that's true. I'm not, the thing is, the bills that you listed, are they all your bills or are they like bills that you share with other people?
Yeah, half of my mom pays it, but
Okay.
I pay the other half out of the 700.
Okay,
And then the electric, it's just everything's half. My mom pays half and then I pay half.
okay, so actually this really is a little bit better than it looked.
Yes, ma'am. I think I forgot to fill that out. Let's notate that on the paper when I
Yeah.
was there at the office filling it out. My mom brought me up there to fill out all that paperwork.
Okay, yeah, I can do that right now, just through our conversation. I just don't want to make an impossible order, you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. No, I can definitely make payments. I
Okay.
can make payments. I want to make payments so I can start getting this dealt with.
Okay, I'm gonna allow those payments. You had requested $25 a month. Is that still going to work?
Yes, ma'am. And I will pay 50 or more if I have it.
You always can. Can you come in today and sign? Or can we email it to you for you to sign?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Can you email it to me, please?
right. The email that we used for the court today, did you get our email? Are you receiving email at that email?
Yes, I am getting email from you. It doesn't notify me when you email me, so I really have to go in there and look.
Yes, yes. Yeah, of course. That's definitely gonna always be true for most emails. What's a good day to do $25? You can pay online by phone or by phone.
Okay, I'll probably be phone. I can pay $25 tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm gonna show that the court order will say beginning 6/8/22. And we'll look to get you to print it, sign it, and email it back to us today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And the other question I have is, you've been on a community service order, and it's okay if the answer is no, but I'm trying to just clear the deck here. Have you done any of those hours?
I've done a couple, but not honestly enough. I try to go back and get the paperwork, but basically they told me that they lost my paperwork, and I was kind of upsetting because I've asked for the paperwork personally back, but that's what I kind of run down to.
Okay, if you can get that to me in the next 2 weeks, I would credit it. Otherwise, we'll just keep moving on, okay?
I understand.
Yeah. Okay, we'll email that over to you. I will approve it. I just was a little worried about doing that without having a couple of words with you first, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling me.
Yes.
I got a letter in the mail that said I had like $300 added on to my account for missing my court hearing. I didn't mean to do that.
No, that didn't happen yet. Nope, that was a warning letter saying, hey, that's about to happen. Could you reach out? So we didn't do that yet. Yeah, we didn't do that yet.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, very good. Then we will email everything to you and I'll look to get your email back today, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you for calling me.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Williams. Glad I got you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, I'll approve that. And, Mr. Matson, here we are. And it looks like Miss Brewer was able to make it back over, so that's perfect. And may I just have you let me know, Mr. Matson, where we are with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, I do have I do have an offer on the table, but I wanted to let Mrs. Gurr speak with you to see whether she's eligible for community service.
Okay, let me look real quickly. Ms. Gurr, can you get off mute? And it looks like maybe not. Your spouse, is your spouse living with you?
Yes,
Okay. And the bills that you showed us are y'all's bills together, is that right?
they're fairly accurate. I mean, when I put it in, I was using our old spreadsheet, which obviously doesn't account for the increase with inflation. And also, does it include the finance of another baby?
Right.
Um, so that's why I kind of wanted to speak to you.
Okay. I'm listening.
So, obviously just funds. Just trying to make sure that we have enough for, obviously, we have one child already. So with the next child, obviously that's going to increase expenditure just for the need of the child. And so that's why.
Okay, listen, pause for just a moment. Mr. Mattson, is the offer a deferral?
That was offered, Your Honor, but she would rather have a reduction in fine
Okay.
in exchange for a plea of no contest.
With a straight hit on the reduction, or
Yes,
not,
Your Honor.
not a reduction, but a deferral? Is that what you're saying? Full amount on the deferral, or a reduction with a straight hit? Is it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, look, I need to talk to her further.
Okay.
You're welcome to listen. But the last two folks are Ms. Johnson and then Mr. Wolf for his client. And I thought I might move you forward. Would you like to move forward, or do you want to stay in with this discussion?
I'll move forward, Your Honor. I can be caught up whenever you're finished.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, I'm going to move you over to that meeting, and y'all will meet, and then you'll be back over again.
Okay.
Thank you. There she goes. Now, Ms. Go, let me ask you a couple of questions. I want to make sure I'm understanding the information that you have submitted.
Yes,
So your husband is in the Army, right, as a captain,
correct.
and he's paid every twice a month.
Yes,
Usually that's the 1st and 15th, right?
typically, yes.
Okay. And then when he's paid, what you put is twice a month, it's 3,900, right?
Yes,
Okay. Then you put 2 children and one you said NA. So is that the expected child coming?
correct.
Okay. I wanted to understand that.
Yes.
And then y'all's mortgage, has it gone up recently, or is it the same as what you disclosed?
I believe it is the same. My husband takes care of that, so I cannot say for certain if it has.
Right. Usually mortgages don't increase.
Yeah. And I don't think it has, just because I think we're a fixed rate. So
It
that's
should
why
be,
we've
especially
been
on taxes.
correct.
Yeah, that shouldn't be changing. Okay, so y'all haven't moved. And then you have childcare, your daughter goes to childcare and y'all pay for that every month?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're not working at this time, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So, I think what he has sent over is that if your plea changes to no contest or guilty, either one, that he would approve with, or recommend really, a reduction of your fine and having it go on your record. Or if you would like to do a deferred, you would pay the full amount. But he's not requiring a class.
Okay.
And that would be like a period of time where you don't get more tickets. We do have to schedule payment, which we could break into 2 payments.
Sure.
And that would keep it from being a conviction on your record.
And then I guess my second question in conjunction with that, is it possible, like, even if the fine in a sense isn't reduced, but if I could do some of those hours as community service?
You're not qualified for that option.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So just so I understand, the two options would be the deferred, which does not go on my record, but I pay in full the full payment, or if I plead no contest or guilty, it goes on my record, but I have a reduced fine.
So with the deferral, the plea is guilty or no contest as well. But yes, the other option that he was making available was a reduction of the fine, I think, to half. And it would go on your record.
Just because I'm not quite sure when it goes on your record, like, does that infringe me at all, or like, I don't know the risk or the weight or gravity.
Right. So I don't know that. And that's actually something I couldn't do, nor could Mr. Mattson, which would be to give you some legal advice about the impact on your record. And I also simply don't know, that's a question maybe for you to talk to a lawyer about, talk to your insurance company about, talk to your husband about. All three of those things might be things that you want to do. We can go ahead and schedule your final pretrial, which is June 29th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And you can decide whether you want to hire an attorney or whether you just want to meet with one or, have discussions with various people. But those are the two options that Mr. Mattson has made as recommendations if your plea changes to guilty or no contest. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I make a decision though before the trial date, am I able to contact the court and get that settled without actually having to appear in court?
Right. So you're for two things. I'm going to answer several questions that popped up within your question.
Okay.
One is the date we would schedule is not a trial date. It's a final pretrial to come in and schedule trial and talk about the rights that you have at that point. We could do it then here in the court. Prior to that date, you are free to reach out to Mr. Mattson, I believe through email. Is that right, Mr. Mattson?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And, accept his offer.
Okay.
But I just to clarify with Mr. Mattson, I'm not able to approve. But I would approve the either reduced, what we call HIT, which would go on your record, or the deferral with two payments in full, eventually in full.
Okay.
Okay.
So like you mentioned, I'll probably end up talking to my husband and seeing what we think would be best. And then I'll reach out to Mr. Madison to figure out to go from there, I suppose.
Yes. Okay, are you good to go?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll either see you here on June 29th or see your paperwork before then, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. I'll let you go. Mr. Mattson, let me get Ms. Johnson back over. I'm trying to get that to happen. You know how there's sometimes a delay on that. Here she comes. Okay. This is a non-motor vehicle in the street charge. The allegation date is May 2nd. The fines and costs are $286. Mr. Mattson and Ms. Johnson, where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, Ms. Johnson will be placed on a deferral.
Okay. All right. Are there any certificates, classes and the like due on the deferral?
No, Your Honor, not on this one.
Okay, and how are we doing income payment?
She is going to do $96 on Monday, June 13th,
Okay,
and then another 96 on or before July 11th,
okay,
and then the remainder on or before August 8th.
I'll approve that. Are you sending that over for us to email with your signature?
Yes, Your Honor, I will send that over to you.
Thank you. I'm gonna let you and Mr. Wolf break on out to that room, and Miss Johnson, just let me share a couple of thoughts with you before you go, okay? Okay, so Miss Johnson, what I'm approving is the agreement that you made with Mr. Mattson. He will get that to me through the course of the morning pretty quickly. It's usually pretty quickly. And we would email that over to the email that we used to set the meeting up today. Will that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll get that to you. If you don't receive that in the next, I would say hour or less, call and check on it because we will have already emailed it at that point, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Johnson. I'll let you.
You're welcome.
Very well.
Thank
Here we go. Um, you handed me that, but I think it's, what should I do? Okay, I know, I did it to you too. But, like being really thorough back and forth. Sometimes I think, just and I don't know what to do about that. Because the fact is, it's your insurance, buddy. Do something. Anyway, I don't see that George Lincoln or Mr. Contreras showed up. Neither of them. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, that's not bad. Just a single no show. Army sergeant, come on, dude. Did we call on the pre-trials and say, hey, you missed it, or did we just move on forward? Final. Yeah, I see that. Sergeants, though, man, they are busy people. They have a lot of screaming to do. They do, they scream all the time. I represented a couple of them, the worst ones, the hardest job, I think, in all of the military, besides every position, is the lieutenant colonels. That's a screamer job. Oh, huge. Because the LT and you are working hand in hand. The LT colonel, the light colonels have an extremely high divorce rate, regardless of gender. And sorry, but and they're military, right? So we could check it. I'm sorry, but and she's like, that's before inflation. She could, if that's what she could come here find pizza night. Just, it's unusual. Just struck me as weird. But hey, I live in weird, so whatever. I make no judgments about anything except actions. You don't. That's the thing. I couldn't. I couldn't get enough to tell. It's concerning. There. Yeah, it looks tight. All right. You know what I mean? That just makes no sense. Here's Sean Ryan. I think there's some prosecutor gettings in that stack. Do you have any idea what I'm being asked to do on this? I'll go to her. Okay, on the Lincoln charge or case, excuse me, on the charge of speeding, where are we?
There's an offer extended, Your Honor. He's going to take it back to his client, and we will set for final and go from there.
Okay, June 29th at 1 o'clock. We'll look to have a direction on or before that date.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you both. And with no other folks present, I believe we're all leaving and we're exiting the meeting.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. You too.
Thank you.
Mr. Mattson, do you have anything that you might take up with the court?